What's up, board game people? I know it's been a while, too long really, and I hate that things have been so silent on my end. So let's talk about the channel, the future, and what to expect. I'll try to make this quick, but no promises. First of all, thank you to all of my Patreon members. I've paused billing for the Patreon while I figure things out, but you all deserve the world, so thank you. Also for my Patreons, there's a dad joke contest running for a short time with 3 winners to get prizes. Check it out on Patreon. Before we get started, let me just say that this is a channel and a personal update. If you aren't here for that, I completely understand, and you can either skip to a section you're interested in, or wait for my next video, which will be out sometime in the future. So what's been going on? It's probably easier to answer what hasn't at this point. As you may know, I had an unexpected change of employment over the summer. I'm finally settling into my new position, but I'm working with a team in Poland, which means my hours vary and they can have me up very early in the morning. And I'm not a morning person. I've been dealing with the final steps of closing out my mother's estate, which has been pretty rough on me. It caused a lot of the depression and anxiety to bubble back up at a time when I was in between doctors. I found a new doctor who's actually listening to my concerns and has introduced some new medications. It's too early to say if they're helping, but I'm going to take the fact that I actually worked myself up to writing an outline for this video as a good sign. My motivation has been completely absent the last few months. And it's something I'm not used to dealing with. I'm usually a workhorse and can focus on banging things out when necessary. Recently, I found it hard to sit at the computer and even play games, much less write and create content. It's an odd feeling for me, but I'm sure this too will pass. One of our older cats had a sharp decline and is being treated for a combination of IBD and cancer. She's too old to put through the surgery to find out which it is, and the treatment is almost the same for each. She's eating again and has gained almost a pound, which is great. But it's been exhausting work getting the weight back on her. Our pets are a family to us, and we do everything we can for them. Then, my wife and I both got COVID. It took us a little while to get over it, but we're finally getting over that part of everything. Then to top off the mountain of other things that's popped up in my life, my wife was unexpectedly hospitalized for a little over a week. My father-in-law flew in to help with the animals and around the house, but this really turned my world upside down for a bit. I couldn't even concentrate on work for the week. It's been really rough, but thankfully she came home last weekend and didn't require any emergency surgery. This isn't meant to be a sob story though, just a transparent look at why I haven't been around. This has been the roughest year of my life, and I'm fighting just to keep my head above water most days. So let's talk about moving forward. The future of the channel may look a little different. I'm honestly still figuring out what I want to do and putting together plans to accomplish those goals. First up, let's talk Patreon. I've paused the Patreon billing for the month. This is the longest they'll allow, and I wanted to take some time to think on things. I paused it with the intent of doing a final giveaway and canceling it after that. I felt terrible that I couldn't provide the value there that I wanted, and my Patreon members definitely deserve better. I honestly feel a huge obligation from the whole thing, and I've been trying to remove some of those types of obligations from my plate to give myself some room to breathe. Sure, I'm still saving towards getting a better camera, better lighting, and even some other equipment, but those things will come with time. I have a good start on some of them thanks to the amazing support I've been shown. I also paused and was going to cancel the Patreon because I'm toying with changing the channel and its content up a bit, and it might not be exactly what my Patreons had signed up for. I want to be fair to everyone, and taking sharp turns with people supporting my content for specific reasons can be difficult. So for Patreon, there's a lot to think about. Many of my amazing Patreon members spoke up immediately and said they'd like to continue the support regardless of my current slow pace and such, and again I have to say I have the best supporters I could ask for. Hopefully this video will help you all see the directions I plan to explore, and we can make a decision together about the future of the current Patreon for the channel. More to come on the Patreon page soon. So what's staying the same with the channel? I'm still going to be covering board game content, but I am turning a bit more towards the content I want to make. News videos will resume shortly and continue for the foreseeable future. I do plan on doing more unboxings and more previews than I previously have. So what's changing? This is going to be the big section. For board game related content, you'll be seeing less, if any more, campaign guides for crowdfunding. There are others that cover them much better than me, and honestly, I don't enjoy making the same video over and over again, and that's what those start to feel like for me. If I decide to help out a campaign, you might see something similar, but it'll be done more as part of a preview than a straight look through the campaign page. You're going to see some actual reviews. I have several games that I've extensively played and would like to get actual reviews completed for them. I want to do more interviews with game creators. I've enjoyed them in the past, and improving my setup and format for them is something that excites me. And then there are a ton of other types of videos that I want to try out. So I'm going to make it a goal to step back and try to get some of those out and see how they're received. Now for the big and possibly controversial shift. I'm planning to start incorporating more digital game content into the channel. I spend a ton of time playing video games, and some of them I'd like to start covering, reporting on, and celebrating on the channel. You may not know it, but my degree is in game design. I'm not in the industry because my career path took me to other turns that happen to be a bit more lucrative than entry-level game design positions. I've extensively studied both digital and analog games at a university level, and I want to share the other side of my passion for games as well. The games I'll be focusing on are simulation and survival games for the most part. An example would be that my wife and I have spun up our new Ark Survival Ascended server, and we'll be playing Ark for quite some time, and I'd like to make some content for the game. I've also been sinking a good amount of time into going medieval and city skylines too. I don't know exactly what this content is going to look like just yet, but expect some news coverage for the games, maybe some how-to style content, and likely some tips and tricks videos as well. Any digital game content will be clearly marked. 95% of the time, there won't really be any overlap, so you won't have to watch video game content unless you want to. I'll be keeping board game content separate unless it's appropriate to mix things like covering a digital version of a board game. Sure, I could make 2 channels, and likely that would make some people happier. But as of now, I absolutely don't make enough videos to keep the YouTube algorithm happy with a single channel. So making enough for 2 is not going to happen. Also, I don't want anyone to feel I'm neglecting one channel for the other. I made my channel to celebrate and document my hobbies. The majority of my content has been about board games up to this point, and I don't see that changing much. But no, there will be other content mixed in. There'll likely be some smaller changes coming to the channel as well, but we'll get to them as they come about. For now, I hope this is good food for thought. I'd love to hear opinions, suggestions, or even complaints. Nothing is set in stone for the moment, but I'm planning and starting to put some plans in motion. In short, because this wasn't as short as I wanted it to be, I am okay, hopefully getting better, and the channel will be moving again very soon. Expect a news video in the next few weeks, and hopefully we'll be back to weekly news videos in no time. New types of content, both board gaming and video gaming, are likely on the way. The future of my Patreon is up in the air, and I'd love to hear thoughts from all of our members, and I'll not shy away from comments or criticism. I want to hear it all in the comments. Thank you to everyone watching and commenting. Your encouragement and support for me and the channel has meant the world to me, and it's gotten me through one of the roughest years of my life. So thank you to everyone, and we'll talk very soon.